Long time back, there was a soul. Special.
Become the demon in Metal Hellsinger VR, and it's 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Step into the half-demon body of the unknown and feel the pulse of metal rage through you. Metal Hellsinger VR redesigns the acclaimed rhythm shooter from the ground up, placing the infernal arsenal straight into your hands and the fires of hell at your feet. Experience an unparalleled state of flow as you move, dash, and aim in full VR. Remember, this is a flat screen game that has been totally transformed for the VR medium here. And just like its flat screen counterpart, you're going to enjoy a range of features from the original game, including the full epic campaign, Archdevil difficulty, torment challenges, and beat assist mode, all reimagined for VR. Quite simply, shoot to the beat to make the music unfold and your power grow. See the world around you pulsate to the rhythm and be unburdened by a traditional interface. This totally reminds me of Pistol Whip, but unlike Pistol Whip, where you're moving forward at all times, it looks like you're moving around in a full 3D environment here, like a giant arena. And of course, unlike Pistol Whip, where it's more the electronic dance genre, this is all about the death metal, man. The multi-award-winning original soundtrack composer duo, Two Feathers, have created a thunderous original score with vocals by metal icons such as System of a Down, Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, and much more. And as you can see from the list of awards and nominations here, these guys nailed the audio in the music in the gameplay. Amazing. Seriously, I'm going to have to grab this game as soon as I can. And now that the game's been out for a little while, it does have some DLC that you can grab, and they're all on sale right now. The first one being Metal Hellsinger VR Purgatory. It's normally 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you can save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And that Purgatory DLC contains 3 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as new weapons and new cosmetic skins. And the second DLC they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Essential Hits Pack, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. In this Essentials pack, you're seeing a plethora of weird songs that wouldn't normally fit the whole death metal genre here, and some of them including Gorillaz, Feel Good Inc., and Muse Uprising. And that's what took me by surprise here. I had to include it at the very beginning of this video. You know, some of these songs totally do not fit the death metal genre, but when I'd seen the actual trailer for this game, I was like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun for sure. And the last one they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Dream of the Beast, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And with this pack, you are getting 2 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as a brand new weapon and 3 outfits with passive effects. Very cool. You know, with all of those awards and nominations, and with that epic campaign, and just knowing that this game is literally Pistol Whip, but totally reinvented in full 3D with that death metal genre, if there's anyone in the comment section that can speak to this game, if you own it, played it, loved it, hate it, whatever, please let us know whether or not we should grab this game at the sale price. I'm assuming so, man. It sounds amazing. But of course, the next game that needs to be in every PSVR2 library, we're talking about Resident Evil 4, and it's 50% off right now. With over 78,000 people rating the game, it scored 4.76 out of 5 stars, with 94% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Incredible. And just speaking from experience again, I've never played this game before in the past whatsoever. This was my first experience in VR on the PSVR2, and I gotta say, man, I was blown away. And what I mean by that is, unlike Resident Evil Village, this game does take that classic video game challenge formula and then reinvents it in VR with all these zombies running at me at full room scale. What I absolutely loved about this game is it is a testament to taking a traditional video game, literally with all of the challenges, and not compromising it whatsoever for the VR medium. If anything, only enhancing it, giving you more freedom to actually move and dual wield. Spinning your body around in full life-size room scale VR is just an experience you cannot get on the flat screen, literally. But before we get ahead of myself, I do have to let everybody know, when you go to buy this game, it does not have that VR mode initially locked into it. You do have to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil 4, go all the way down, you're going to see add-ons there, and then you're going to see the Resident Evil 4 VR mode. Click that, download it, install it, then jump into the game. And real quick, I do have to show you right now, in order to play this game in full room scale VR, you do have to go to the settings I'm showing you right here. So when you hit your options button, go to options, VR controls, locomotion, controller. Pressing forward, looking around, I'm still able to move forward, guys. Still able to pull back and look around without him moving the body. When I press forward and move my body completely, look, he's turning around. It knows. It knows. Whereas the default is it's going to have you move your body with your head. Every time you turn your head, you know, your body turns with it, and that's not natural. As well, you can download another free add-on called The Mercenaries, but it's not in VR. 158 people have rated it 4.43 out of 5 stars. 82% of the audience scoring this 4 or 5 out of 5. And this game mode is all about racing against the clock and battling your way to the top of the leaderboards. But of course, if you're unsure whether or not Resident Evil is for you, I highly recommend you get that gameplay demo on the PlayStation Store right now.
Shit!
And if you did just grab the PSVR2 while it was on Black Friday sale, I highly recommend you do get the Resident Evil Village Gold Edition at 60% off. With over 31,000 people, it scored 4.69 out of 5 stars, with 92% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just like Resident Evil 4, the game does not have that VR mode built in, so you do need to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil Village, go all the way down till you see add-ons, click that VR mode, install it, then load the game up and you're ready to go. But unlike the standard edition, this Gold Edition at 60% off does include a whole plethora of extras that some of it does work in VR, and we're going to go over this really quick. In the Gold Edition, you are getting the Trauma Pack DLC, and with that, it does include the Samurai Edge AW Model 01, and that is available in VR, as well as the Resident Evil 7 found footage filter, and that is not available in VR as that's for the flat screen experience only. You're getting the Resident Evil 7 tape recorder save point. Unfortunately, that is not in VR. You're getting Safer Music Go Tell Aunt Rhody, that is in VR, as well as the Mr. Everywhere weapon charm, that is in VR as well. And with this Trauma Pack, you'll immediately unlock the Village of Shadows difficulty. And I do not know whether or not that Village of Shadows difficulty is available in VR. Anybody in the comments section, if you've played this, please let us know whether or not we can do this in VR. If not, I'm going to have to check it out sooner than later and let everybody know. You're also getting the Tragedy of Ethan Winters artwork and the Baker Incident Report, which are not available in VR. But the most important part of the Gold Edition that you're getting here is the Winters expansion. And there are 3 main modes to this game, and they're not available in VR, unfortunately. The first one is the ability to play the game in third-person mode. This is the classic Resident Evil 4 where you're seeing yourself in third person, but man, I gotta say, if you're a huge fan of the Resident Evil series, you probably will want to check this out. As well, this includes the Mercenaries additional orders, and just like the Resident Evil 4, this is a separate minigame where it's all about your skills in these time-based challenges. But unlike Resident Evil 4, this one includes 3 new characters, including the towering Lady Dimitrescu, as well as Heisenberg from what I'm seeing here in the trailer. I do not know that third one. Anyone in the comments section, if you want to let us know, that'd be great. But the most significant part of this DLC is called Shadows of Rose, and this is a new scenario starring the grown-up Rose, Ethan's beloved daughter, who was kidnapped as a baby that kicked off the original Village story. And just showing you real quick the rating that this actual DLC received, I am assuming that is the Shadows of Rose DLC, that is that extra storyline plot. I do wish that was in VR like Daughters on Resident Evil 7. Don't know why they didn't do that. That would have been really cool to play. And speaking of which, the next DLC is again not in VR, but I didn't even know this existed until I did these sales videos. In the base game, you do get for free Resident Evil Reverse. This is an online multiplayer game that you play against your friends where you're fighting each other as teams. Then whoever dies, they spawn into these monsters and now they're attacking you. I've never played before, again, not in VR, will never play this. It even says in the description that the online service does not last forever, and at any time this game could go offline, so heads up. And for all of you that are unsure whether or not the Resident Evil Village is for you, I highly recommend you do get the gameplay demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now.
We can solve this problem once and for all.
They're trying to make a vaccine. You want to come? Good dog, buddy!
Arizona Sunshine 2, the next-gen sequel to the fan-favorite VR Apocalypse, is currently 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. And with over 2,000 people rating this game, it scored 4.53 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience scoring this 4 or 5 out of 5. I gotta say, I did play the first one, beat it all the way through, thought the game was good, but man, after seeing the trailers for Arizona Sunshine 2, this does look like the full next-gen title that I've been waiting for. In a post-apocalyptic world where every bullet counts, experience the thrill of realistic combat as you wield all new and fan-favorite weapons. And what's really kick-ass, man, that I've been waiting to play this game, you can enjoy the full campaign in 2-player co-op mode. As well, you can join up to 3 other players in 4-player co-op Horde mode, and they've already released an abundance of maps for the actual Horde mode, so very cool, man. They put a lot of love and attention to this game and then included all this extra DLC. And what's better than braving the end of the world than surviving it with your new best friend, Buddy? Not only is Buddy your 4-legged companion through thick and thin, he's also the goodest boy and will help take down those pesky Freds for you. And they really put a spotlight on this dog, man. There's even extra skins like an undead doggy and, another breed of dog, the Corgi, altogether, which is really weird but looks really cool. Everyone in the past that's commented on this game whenever it's gone on sale has only said great things about this game, seriously. And again, if you have a friend to play with or friends to play with, only better from what I'm hearing.
Good morning, Arizona. Hope you're all well. To all survivors of Sunshine Festival 2016, that was one heck of a ride, was it not?
That said, if you're like me and you had the PSVR1 and you played the original, Arizona Sunshine Remake is currently 20% off right now. And already over 5,000 people have rated this 4.04 out of 5 stars, with 77% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. However, I am seeing 11% giving this 1 out of 5 stars. And I just have to speak to this really quick. Arizona Sunshine on the PSVR1. I did experience that co-op mode and I thought it was good. Again, good. That's the best way to describe it. But the mechanics were not polished like Farpoint. I am hoping that when I revisit this game, because there is an upgrade fee that you can pay instead of buying this game all the way out. I'm totally expecting the game to look as good as it is on the trailer. However, I'm hoping the actual mechanics, the gameplay, the controls are much better than what I remember on the PSVR1. Just saying. What I didn't realize is that this remake actually offers all of the DLC from the first game. Very cool, man. Being honest, I don't think I played any of the DLC. I just played the original campaign all the way through with my friend and I was kind of done with it after that. So, and of course they've kept that intact. You can play the original campaign in co-op mode on Arizona Sunshine Remake, as well as the 4-player Horde mode, and I do believe that was already available on the PSVR1, so nothing different there from what I remember. And then they are claiming to have taken the Arizona Sunshine 2 mutilation and gore system and bringing it into Arizona Sunshine Remake. So that's really cool. As well, I feel it's very important to mention that Arizona Sunshine, if you didn't know, the original game did receive Best VR Game of the Year by Upload VR in 2016, Best Virtual Reality Game of 2017 by Dutch Game Awards, and Best HTC Vive First Person Shooter in 2016 by the Vive Awards. And I gotta say, I'm really surprised, being honest, after playing Farpoint again, and then jumping into Arizona Sunshine, that didn't win the award over this. And just to remind you again, if you do own the game on the PSVR1, do pay that upgrade fee before buying this on sale at that sale price.
Let me tell you a little story. Batu, the entire Outer Rim really is lawless.
Feel the Force like never before in Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition, and it's 40% off right now. And with over 1,500 people rating this, it scored 4.32 out of 5 stars, with 82% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. As a droid repair technician who crash lands on Batu, the adventure continues in the cantina by unlocking 3 of Cecil Slack's legendary tales. By completing his special missions, you'll travel to other eras, it says, not areas, and even planets in the galaxy. Become a Jedi in the Temple of Darkness, train with your Padawan in the Sacred Garden, or even take on a bounty as an assassin droid IG-88 in the Bounty of Boggs Triff. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition lets you become the hero of your own thrilling adventure, take on missions in the wilds, face off against the Death Gang, and infiltrate a First Order facility and travel to other areas in the galaxy in your own unforgettable Star Wars story. And if you're unsure whether or not this game is for you, you can get the Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition gameplay demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now.
My honored guests, welcome to my house. This house has its own rules, and it can be a cruel mistress. Yet solve its mystery, and you obtain your heart's deepest desire.
Experience one of the best murder mystery video games ever created in The Seventh Guest VR, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. Over 600 people have rated this 4.66 out of 5 stars, with 92% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Amazing. The classic game that chilled you to the bone in the 90s has been brought back with cutting-edge VR technology that delivers an atmospheric story like no other. As you explore the eerie mansion, the puzzles become increasingly challenging, and there are dangers lurking around every corner, with every shadow, creak, and flicker of light adding to the haunting tension. Unlock new rooms and uncover hidden secrets, all while trying to keep your wits about you against the eerie horrors. The Seventh Guest VR is the ultimate adventure for fans of mystery puzzle games and those seeking a new and terrifying VR experience. Every review for the Seventh Guest, I mean every one that I've come across, has only been stellar, so nothing negative to say here whatsoever. I will have to try this sooner than later. Again, anyone in the comments section, if you own it, love to hate it, please let us know what you think. That way we know whether or not to get this at the 50% off sale.
Hellsweeper.
Feel like a Sith Lord in the most incredible VR combat game I've ever experienced. This is Hellsweeper VR, and it's 50% off right now. Over 550 people have rated this 4.29 out of 5 stars, with 82% of the audience scoring this 4 or 5 out of 5. And this has got to be the most incredibly complicated, awesome combat system I've ever played in any video game whatsoever. Quite literally, the more time that you put into this game, the more options you choose and play with, the more that this becomes an extension of your body. Legit, it took me about 5 or 6 hours of playing around just to get the actual controls that I wanted for this game, and it was well worth it. I legit now feel like John Wick in VR. It's incredible. And just to speak to this, I've literally put in approximately 30 hours into this game, and I've hardly scratched the surface. I keep sticking to the same weapons and guns and stuff because I'm still ranking them up. I'm still progressing in the game. And then there's a whole slew of other weapons that totally transform the entire game experience, literally, that I've yet to unlock and touch. And then there's the actual co-op mode where you can play with a friend and then combine your weapons and powers at the same time. Every time this game's on sale, I keep trying to show everybody how this is the most incredible combat system in any game I've ever played before. I keep telling people this is for the VR veteran. What I mean by that is you're not going to get motion sick. It's just that there's so many options to play this game. And the actual default controls, man, I totally hated, jumping into the game right away. Had I just stuck with that, I would not have been playing with it more than for half an hour to an hour. And then they just released this Resurgence update that includes the original chick from Sariento from the first PSVR, and man, I loved that game, so much so that I platinumed it, and that is one of the hardest games on PSVR 1, just saying. But it's not difficult once you become accustomed to the controls. That's all it is. That's what I'm hammering in here, guys. Man, you can actually have the John Wick experience in VR if you just play with your settings. I had to go through the entire thing, comb through every section, and completely change everything, and I'm so happy that I did. I am gonna have to make a video for you guys, but do grab this game at 50% off, hands down. It is so worth that. I mean, again, at least 30 hours for me right now, and I'm gonna put another 30 if not more. Green Hell VR is the most authentic story-driven VR survival game, and it's currently 50% off right now. With over 570 people rating this 3.57 out of 5 stars, with 59% of the audience scoring this 4 or 5 out of 5 stars. And as you can see, it's a complete mixed bag in the ratings here. And I just have to speak to this really quick. I did cover this right when the game launched. I did not make another video afterwards, so I did catch this when the game had a ton of bugs. And I gotta say, after a year of not playing it, I did just put it in last week. Played it for a couple hours, and I was blown away as to how much better it was than my first experience. Whereas now everything just works seamlessly. To me, actually now feeling water on my hands as I'm putting them under a waterfall, to my headset vibrating, to the sound being there, not cutting out, like all of that stuff seems to be fixed. So I'm very happy to report you do need to grab this game, especially at 50% off. So the only negative I have to say about this game, it still doesn't have that decoupling where I can walk forward and look around. However, the actual room scale VR, being able to turn my body fully, felt really good. So it's not like I missed it completely. But as I was standing there in the dark, I was reminded to how I really want to play this game with friends. And then I just see on the PlayStation Store, it says co-op is launching on December 16th, 2024. And it's with 4 players total. So that is incredible. I'm assuming it's not the actual campaign, it's just the survival challenges. But I can say from experience, just playing this for like an hour, 2 hours last week, yes, you do need to grab this at 50% off. For sure, hands down. And the other most amazing multiplayer game everyone else needs to get, this is After the Fall Deluxe Edition, and it's 70% off right now. With over 1,000 people rating it, it scored 3.91 out of 5 stars, with 71% of the audience scoring it 4 or 5 out of 5. Now with this deluxe edition, you are getting the After the Fall Complete Edition, and all that Complete Edition is, it's the PSVR 1 game revamped with 3 DLC that was released for it. But the deluxe does include the Ultimate Buster weapon and outfit skin, as well as the digital art book and the official soundtrack. That said, I did just play this game last night, expecting to play it for maybe half an hour, thinking this is a PSVR 1 game, it's going to be revamped, it's going to be okay, I'll get bored with it within half an hour. And no man, right when loading the game, you know, I was taken back knowing this is a PSVR 1 game, but they did just upgrade the whole thing, and it does look like a hybrid of PSVR 1 and PSVR 2 graphics. Like, it's got that clarity with this dynamic lighting and all these particle effects, and it looks really good. I mean, like, really good. If you didn't know, this game actually does have a free upgrade, so if you did buy this back in the day, man, you are going to want to pop this in and play this again for sure. Unlike the PSVR 1, this does include the PSVR2 Sense haptics. You do feel that difference. Even when I'm rolling over an icon to selecting an object, you know, I do feel that special haptic sensation. The adaptive triggers immediately noticeable, even with the guns to using a light gun on an arcade display cabinet there. The headset haptics, you know, were immediately evident when I got hit in the head. The touch sensitivity was there right when I loaded the game. I could see all my fingers curling. The only one that didn't was the actual trigger finger. That's it. But I mean, come on. That snow slush actually looks really good. It has depth, has transparency, and it has that three-dimensional effect to it. Like, it looks like frozen water that's just about to become a puddle of water. And as I'm sitting there getting a feel for the lobby, I'm hearing the music and I'm like, wow, this reminds me of Stranger Things. And then it dawns on me that this tech all around me is from the 80s. What a wicked aesthetic to everything. And then the soundtrack. So it is like the apocalypse happened in the late 80s or early 90s. And all that tech is still remaining there as you're exploring everything. Again, what I didn't expect is they throw you into the game and then I'm walking around and I realized, oh, wait a sec, I'm in a giant lobby of people. They're walking around with me in this like giant arcade. I totally dig how they incorporated the lobby within the game instead of me feeling like I'm jumping into a multiplayer mode. You know, the game just has me in the lobby, but it doesn't feel like a lobby, if that makes sense. Again, what I didn't expect is, aside from the fun factor of playing the game, I got to play with 3 AI friends. I didn't want to jump in with anybody because I didn't want to screw with their game. Got a feel for everything, and the run itself, just what they call a harvest run. You're going out and you're trying to defeat as many zombies as possible, get as many points by defeating them. You see these little glowing orbs, roll over, just simply walk over it, collect it. After you've done a section of the game, you get to a safe house where you can recharge, use some of that currency you earn to buy boosters or health or whatever, but you're trying to keep as much of that as possible, so when you're done like 3 sections of that run, you return home and then you can upgrade your weapons to either new guns or new add-ons to the guns. And that whole section in that lobby is awesome, where you go in and you adjust your gun. Again, the whole theme, the whole aesthetic really did take me back. I wasn't expecting it to be so well done. And again, I do have to admit, I see this game on sale all the time. This is the best price, the deluxe at 70% off. So knowing this game is really cheap pretty much on the regular, and I'm getting such a top-tiered experience here. Again, I've never played with anybody, but just after 2 or 3 hours with the AI, I can tell you right now, this is a blast to play with friends, for sure. So yes, even though the game scored like 3.91, I'm telling you, man, it's minimum 4 for sure. And it's only going to be that much more fun with friends. And I've only played with AI, and they were good. They were a lot of fun to play with, just the AI itself. So as a single-player game, this is a lot of fun at that price for sure, hands down. Swing and toss yourself freely across spacey jungle gym playgrounds as an acrobatic ape in this bananas VR platformer. Toss. And it's 50% off right now. With over 160 people rating it, it scored 4.28 out of 5 stars, with 85% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Awesome. Quite simply, you've crash landed on a cloud planet and will need to collect parts to repair your ship as you launch yourself around 75 plus playground levels in 9 vibrant cloudscape biomes while you rank up to become a toss master. Try to race against the clock with time attack, find as many bananas as possible, or master as few grabs as possible in each round. And of course, there is that social competition where you can compete against each other by time and rank and follow your friend's leaderboard ghosts. Very interesting how they have that, the actual ghosts from like Mario Kart. Very cool. Every time this game has been on sale, I've only heard amazing things about this. And again, I do believe this is a great game for the entire family. So if you have kids, from what I'm hearing, being able to pass the headset back and forth and play this is a lot of fun. That said, if you love the Guitar Hero and want that in VR, Unplugged air guitar is currently 50% off right now. And with almost 300 people rating it, it scored 3.48 out of 5 stars with a completely mixed bag of reviews here. And I do have to say from experience, I did buy this on sale at like 40% off at the time. I did not expect anything from it. And just like Guitar Hero Rock Band, this game is extremely simple, but unlike those 2 other games, you only have 2 buttons on your left hand, and you have your trigger finger on your right hand as your pick. When you're using your left hand, that index finger, your trigger finger, is that tiny little bar, and you do have to hold it and keep it in that position. When you move your guitar up, that whole thing moves with you. So it is actually all about precision and keeping that spot right there. So that does feel really good. And that middle finger is the 3 fingers that you're seeing there, that giant bar. And when you see that index finger and that middle finger change colors, all that is it's telling you to turn your wrist this way, and then you're hitting that index finger or middle. That's it. But do that while you're trying to keep your finger in that exact same position and then combining your 2 fingers at the same time. I found what was really weird, is that when you're holding your pick with your trigger finger, I play guitar in real life, it doesn't feel natural. You know, there's this giant gap in between my thumb and my index finger. So what I found worked really well, just saying, hold your controller down here and I pinch my fingers here or here like this. I'm not touching that middle finger button, I'm just holding the controller. In game, it shows my hand is open. However, when I'm strumming, it's connecting to the strings, everything's working. That was a game-changing experience for me to hold the controller that way versus squeezing that pick. That trigger finger just felt super thick, like I'm holding an eraser or something as I'm trying to play guitar. Very weird. The moment I did that, all of a sudden my scores just instantly increased, and I gotta say, out of the 2 songs, I've scored number 7 in the world. And I have to say this every time, when you play these rhythm-based music games, when you play on the harder levels, the hard and the experts, it is actually easier because you're hitting note for note. I do find when you're playing on the easier settings, you're waiting to hit the actual beat when you're already hearing it. You know the song, so it actually stifles you, if that's the best way to describe it. But do start on the easy or normal just to get a feel for it. But I highly encourage you, do push yourself right away, because you'll find that you'll hit those notes a lot faster and it'll feel far more natural. Jam out to 45 plus rock hits in 4 difficulty modes. And I'm showing you a list of songs that are included with this game. Again, this is just a handful of stuff. So when I jumped into it, I didn't expect these very popular licensed songs to be in there. So again, right away, I instantly got hooked hearing the songs I'm familiar with and then playing to them. So I cannot recommend it enough. If you love the Rock Band, the Guitar Hero, this game, Unplugged air guitar at 50% off, is an absolute win for sure.
Tell the story! Tell it!
But of course.
Embark on a new mind-bending adventure in A Fisherman's Tale 2, the sequel to the award-winning A Fisherman's Tale. And it's 50% off right now. Over 220 people have rated this 4.02 out of 5 stars, with 76% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Immerse yourself in poetic storytelling as you explore new mind-bending VR puzzle mechanics. This time, solve puzzles using your own body, detach and control your limbs, and find new attachments to progress. Discover the truth as you journey through beautiful and unique locations brought to life by the makers of A Fisherman's Tale. But unlike A Fisherman's Tale that won all of these awards, I'm not hearing the same thing about the sequel. Again, I'm not hearing anything negative. People have played both of them. Just, it's not living up to the first one. Anyone in the comments section that does own both games has played both. I've only played the first one. Please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that awesome 50% off. I'm assuming so. Embark on a perilous journey across the plague-ridden realm of Meloria in the Wizards Dark Times Brotherhood, and it's 40% off right now. With 124 people rating it, it scored 3.56 out of 5 stars, with 59% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 19% gave this 1 out of 5. In this game, you're going to forget about button combinations as you discover and master 11 individually designed spells of various uses and effects. Command the arcane powers with nothing but hand gestures, as a true wizard does. This game features 3-player co-op where you forge a brotherhood with up to 2 fellow wizards and use your class-specific skills, Fire, Frost, and Storm, to battle new types of enemies and variants, plus explore the levels with new challenges. This is a remastered single-player adventure where a mysterious, dark plague has fallen on the realm of Meloria, twisting the inhabitants into beings of hatred and madness. The game sounds totally amazing, like it has all of these options completely utilizing VR. However, every time this has been on sale, somebody in the comment section has let me know the game is riddled with bugs or it's just not fun. So there's definitely something off here. Again, anyone in the comment section, if you owned it, loved or hate it, please speak to this in the comments comments. Let us know whether or not we should grab this at that awesome sale price. So that said, that is all of the games and DLC on sale for this Black Friday sale. I'm a little taken back. I thought there would have been like 70 or 80 games on sale, yet this has got to be one of these smallest sales, but with one of the biggest savings yet. If you guys like the video I produced today or any of the videos that I've done, please click that like button. And if you love what I'm doing with the channel, please subscribe to it. And for all of you that have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Until the next one,